to report outs on subcommittees. The first report is from the Budget and Finance Subcommittee, and, excuse me, Mr. Wade, are you presenting that, or is Mr. Gilliam presenting an update?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I believe it's Mr. Gilliam for the Budget and Finance Subcommittee. I think I'm going to be presenting for the Citizen Engagement Committee for that update.
Okay, Mr. Gilliam, I think you have the floor now, if you want to give us an update on your subcommittee's work.
Okay, thank you. The Budget Committee interviewed 3 candidates for the attorney position. One was a GOP-leaning firm. 2 were Democratic-leaning firms. The committee voted to recommend Shar Jaffe for the GOP-leaning, for the Republican-leaning legal services, and recommended jointly both Gerald Hebert and Crimcard Consulting to negotiate with the 2 of those to see if they would work together and see if there was some way that both of them would be willing to assist the commission. That is essentially the crux of what we did in the Budget and Finance Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Gilliam. So is that a motion that the subcommittee is making to the full commission?
Yes, I believe that is correct. We would recommend the Shar Jaffe to represent the Republican-leaning, to be the Republican-leaning representatives, legal representatives, and we asked staff to negotiate with Hebert and Crimcard, so the commission or the subcommittee would recommend that the staff negotiate with Mr. Hebert and with Crimcard to jointly represent the Democrat-leaning position, legal position.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Delegate Simon.
Delegates, so if I could, the way I remember the motions I think that we passed were number 1 would be to authorize some small subset of the commission to enter into competitive negotiations with the Republican firm and make sure we could come to an agreement on price. Essentially, we found them to be qualified to do the work. I think the only outstanding issue was would we be able to work out a rate agreement with them where we could all live with. And then the second motion was to authorize again a small subset of the commission with members of both parties to negotiate with the highest ranked of the 2 Democratic committees as far as the scoring was concerned, but with an eye towards seeing if there was any interest in the 2 of them combining forces to create a joint bid. Mr. Chair, is that how? That's how I remember the motions that we're going to bring to the full commission for a decision. If anybody remembers it differently, I'm happy to be corrected.
I agree with you, Delegate Simon, that's what I believe that we discussed. So I'm looking at Meg on whether or not we need 2 different motions okay. All right. So, Mr. Gilliam, are you okay if maybe we use Delegate Simon's split on the motions for the next steps for the commission to consider?
Yes, I think it's advisable to do 2 motions.
Okay. So, Delegate Simon, would you like to make first motion on the GOP legal services, please?
Well, I'll articulate the motion, and then maybe I have an opportunity to speak to it too. So let me do this.
Okay.
I move that the full commission authorize a negotiating team of commission members, assisted by staff. I think there was some clear discussion that staff didn't want to be tasked with doing this by themselves, to enter into negotiations with what's the name of the I don't have the name of the firm in front of me. Shar Jaffe to see if they'd be willing to provide services on after competitive negotiations with the commission.
Okay.
I will second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second.
And Madam Chair, may I speak to that motion
Yes.
briefly? Just because there's been a lot of conversation in the blogosphere and elsewhere about some of the history of the firm and other clients that they've represented. I just want to be clear that they were the only Republican-leaning firm that responded to our RFP, and we made a decision as a commission. And I, frankly, I was on the side of those that thought we ought to maybe explore some different options. But the commission made a decision that we were going to do this. We're going to go in this direction. We're going to have a Republican-leaning firm and a Democratic-leaning firm do this. So once that decision was made, we were, the question really before the subcommittee was, is the firm that applied to us capable of doing the work? And it wasn't really a political decision. It had nothing to do with what other clients they've represented in the past. We made the decision to go with the firm that was capable of doing the work. And so that's the basis of the recommendation in the motion. I just want to make sure that folks out there understand that.
Okay. Any other comments that folks would like to make? Okay. Well, Claire, I think we're ready for a vote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to, this is Amigo Wade with Legislative Services. I just wanted to reread the motion. The motion was made by Delegate Simon and seconded by Senator Locke to have the full committee authorize a subset of the Budget and Finance Subcommittee to enter into negotiations with the assistance of staff with Shear Jaffe regarding price, and that would be for the Republican-leaning firm.
Yes, I believe that is correct, and that is what the commission will be voting on.
All right, Madam Chair, here's the roll call. Mr. Abrenio?
I'm going to vote no.
Mr. Feliciano?
No.
Mr. Gilliam?
Yes.
Mr. Harrell?
Aye.
Mr. Hutchins?
No.
Mr. Kumar? Delegate Adams?
Yes.
Senator Barker? Senator Locke?
Yes.
Senator McDougal? Delegate McQuinn? Senator Newman? Senator Newman? Excuse me, sir?
Newman votes aye. Aye.
Thank you. Delegate Ransom?
Yes.
Delegate Simon?
Aye.
Ms. Harris?
Aye.
Ms. McKenzie? I'm sorry. Ms. Babachenko?
Yes.
Madam Chair, the motion carries 11-3 with 2 absent.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wade. Delegate